All right, so question number 4 says, the quantity P varies inversely as the square of V. The quantity P varies inversely as the square of V. It says using the letters P, V, and K, form an equation connecting the quantities P and V. All right, so this is variation. In variation, there are two operative words, the word inversely and the word directly. In this case, the word that is used is the word inversely. So the variation statement P varies inversely as the square of V translates into the equation P is equal to K over V squared. So the variation statement P varies inversely as the square of V translate into the variation statement P is equal to K over V squared, where K is the variation constant or the constant of proportionality. Next, it says, given that V is 3 when P is 4, we'll determine the value of V when P is 1. Now, every variation question basically have a 4-step procedure to it. So step 1 is that the examiner makes a variation statement. So this is my variation statement. Now from that, we write our variation equation. Next, we're going to be given a value of P and V so that we can calculate K. We're given that P is 4, or V is 3 when P is 4. So let's put that into our equation. P is 4, and we have K over V, which is 3. So we're given this information so that we can calculate K. So what we have is 4 over 1 is equal to K over 3 squared, which is 9. If I have one fraction is equal to one fraction, and I want to get rid of the fraction, I would cross multiply. So 1 times K is equal to 4 times 9, which is 36. So step 2 would be, I'd be given a value of P and V so I could calculate K, which we just did. So the third step is that we're going to rewrite the equation. The equation is P is equal to K, which is 36 over V squared. Now, the last step is that we're going to be given a value now of what? P to find V, or a value of V to find P. So here, next we're told now when P is equal to 1, we're going to get 1 is equal to 36 over V squared. We need to find V. If one fraction is equal to one fraction, to get rid of the fraction, I would cross multiply. 1 times V squared is V squared is equal to 1 times 36, which is 36. The opposite of square is square root, so I get V is equal to the square root of 36. V is equal to positive or negative 6. All right, moving on. All right, so this is an inequality. It's actually two inequalities in one. There are two ways you could solve it. You could pull the two inequalities apart and solve them separately and then bring the answer together. I just like to solve it as one inequality. All right, so now how do we solve an inequality? We solve an inequality like how we solve an equation. So the first thing I need just x in the middle. So I'm gonna have 3x in the middle. Positive x in the middle is gonna go to the right and become negative. So it's 7 minus 5. It's also gonna go to the left and become negative. So it's minus 7 minus 5. I'm solving the two inequalities in one. Positive 5 in the middle goes over to the right and to the left and become negative. Just waiting for the software to catch up. All right, so the first thing, positive 5 goes over to the right and to the left and become negative. So let's simplify. We have 3x is less than or equal to 7 minus 5 is 2, but greater than minus 7 minus 5, this is minus 12. If the signs are the same, we add and keep the sign. Now, the last thing is just to divide the entire thing by 3. When we do, we're going to get x is less than or equal to 2/3, but greater than minus 4. So that is how I would solve it. So next, we're asked to represent the answer from BI, which is the answer is x is less than or equal to 2/3, but greater than minus 4. We're to represent that on a number line. So let's try. So let's put a 1 here, 2 here. We're representing our answer on a number line, 3 here. Over here, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5. That's our number line. All right, so my solutions are x is less than or equal to 2/3. So 2/3 is a fraction, less than 1, 1/3, 2/3. So at 2/3, I'm going to draw a circle. I'm going to shade inside that circle. Now at 4 minus 4, I'm going to also draw a circle. And I'm not going to shade inside that circle. Now, the reason we shade the circle at 2/3 is because it says x is less than or equal to. So shading the circle is showing that 2/3 is a part of the solution. X could be equal to 2/3. It's less than or equal to it. And we did not circle we did not shade the circle at minus 4 because it says that x is greater than minus 4. So it means that minus 4 is not part of the solution. It's greater than minus 4, it could be minus 3, it could be minus 2, it could be minus 1, but it's greater than minus 4. So what I just did is that I just represented the solution from the inequality on a number line. Next question. All right. So this is C. C looks like it is coordinate geometry. It says the equation of a straight line is given as x over 3 plus y over 7 is equal to 1. It says this line crosses the y-axis at Q, determine the coordinates of at Q. So everybody should remember from coordinate geometry that if I can get the equation in this format, I would know two things immediately. I would know what is the gradient M, and I would know what is the y-intercept C. So we're told here in this question that our y-intercept is Q. The y-intercept is where the graph crosses the y-axis, and we are told by the examiner that the graph crosses the y-axis at Q, so Q is my y-intercept. So let's get this in this format. We have x over 3. We want to get it in the form y is equal to mx plus c, plus y over 7 is equal to 1. So this is what I would do. To get rid of the fraction, I would find the LCM, use the LCM, and then discard the LCM. If you have an equation with fraction, to get rid of the fraction, find the LCM, use the LCM, then discard the LCM. The LCM is 21. Three goes into 21 7 times. 7 times x is 7x. 7 goes into 21 3 times. 3 times y is 3y. 1 goes into 21 21 times. 21 times 1 is 21. So I found the LCM, use the LCM. Next, I'm going to discard the LCM. Discarding the LCM means going forward. I go forward without the LCM. So now I have 7x plus 3y is equal to 21. I want to get it in the form y is equal to mx plus c, so that I can say what q is, q being the y-intercept. So next I'm going to have 3y is equal to minus 7x plus 21. So that is positive 7x on the left goes over to the right and become negative. Then I'm going to divide the entire equation by 3. When I do, I'm going to end up with y is equal to minus 7 over 3x plus 21 over 3, which is 7. Now this is in this format. It's in the form y is equal to mx plus c. And in this form, m, the number in front of x is the gradient. So the gradient is minus 7 over 3. And the number at the end, 7, is the y-intercept. The y-intercept is where the graph crosses the y-axis. So the y-intercept is q is 7, but we're asked for the coordinates of the y-intercept. So the point q is the point 0, 7. Remember, the y-axis is the line x is equal to 0. So the x coordinate of all points on the y-axis is 0. So the coordinates where the graph crosses the y-axis q is 0, 7. Next, we're asked what is the gradient. Remember, once in this form, y is equal to minus 7 over 3x plus 7. Once in this form, the number in front of x is the gradient. So the gradient m is equal to minus 7 over 3. All right. And it looks as if that is the end of the question.